Hi, welcome to Facebook, or if you're watching the replay, either Facebook or YouTube. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and tonight I'm just going to show you, well, my main purpose tonight is to show you the two different types of stamps we have at Stampin' Up! And how to use them. But that means we need to make a card with at least one of those kinds of stamps. I'm also going to go over how to clean the stamps. That's kind of important. So I'm going to give you just a minute to hop on, because I think we're right at 6 o'clock right now. So I'm just curious, how's everybody's weather today? So I was talking to a friend up north Tuesday, and she said she is sick of the cold and the wet. But here in Texas, it was 80 degrees today. So I would like maybe just a skosh more of that cold. Not really cold, but cool. Hey Lisa, how are you? So I would love to have just some, maybe 70 degree weather would be better than 80 degrees. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just to go over some stamping basics. And while I'm doing this, the first stamp set I'm going to show you is a Cling. Hey Kaylee! It's a Cling stamp set. Let me flip my camera around, that way you can see what I'm talking about here. It's called Awesome Otters. This set is so adorable, and it comes from Celebration. So it's not available yet, and when it is available, you'll only be able to get it free with a $50 purchase of products from the mini or annual catalogs. So this is a Cling set, and that means it is red rubber, and it comes like this. Back in the day when I first started with Stampin' Up!, this is all it was, and then we had rubber scissors, and we would cut around. Now it's perforated, so we just punch them out. And then to put the backing on them, misplaced my glasses. Here we go. To put the backing on them, you pull off this back part and then take half of the back off the sticker. Figure out which way it needs to go. You don't want to put it on backwards because these things stick forever. And then once you've got it figured out, I'm going to turn this so I can see it a little better. You line it up as good as you can get it, and start by lining it up on the side that still has the backing on it. So you want to line that half up first, and once that's good, then you can put it down on the other side. Fold this back. Whoops. Peel off that backing, and then you can press down the other side, and then you have your sticker that shows you what you're stamping on the back of your stamp. Very handy, and this is super duper sticky. This will stay sticky for a long time. So then the next part of our stamping is the clear blocks. So we have clear blocks from this really huge, this is an F block, to this tiny little A block. And then there's blocks of all sizes in between. This is probably my most used block. It's a D block, and it comes in the paper pumpkin kits. So the first time you get a paper pumpkin kit, you'll get a D block. It won't be this thick. It'll probably be about half that thickness, but it'll be clear. It'll be this size. Handy dandy little block. Then we've also got this I block, an E block, and an H block. So you can buy all the blocks together with, you can even buy a handy dandy carrying case to put them all in. I don't travel very often with my stamps anymore, so I just have and I have lots of them. Or my blocks, so I mostly just keep them on my desk. But I did take them to New Mexico last weekend and stamped some while I was out of town, so that was nice. Okay, so to clean these blocks, let me see if I have a scrap piece of paper here. So if I wanted to stamp this, I just ink it up and then stamp straight down. I don't want to ink it and like really, you don't want to mash it real hard. So that's one reason why I pick it up, so I can tell I'm just tapping it. I'm not really pressing it in hard, because when you do that, okay, that did okay. But if you rock it, see how there's like a halo around the stamp? We don't want that. So just be careful that when you stamp straight down. And when you ink it, you just tap it. You don't want to mash and press real hard. This is an old ink pad. Stampin' Up's products last pretty much forever. So, or at least it seems like they do. So let me show you what I'm doing now. This part is not necessary. It's just handy. So this is a paper towel just in a little plastic tray. This is actually a pencil container. So I'm just dabbing some of that ink off. That way, when I use my Stampin' scrub, I don't have tons of ink going on my scrub. It's already mostly clean. But I still want to use my Stampin' scrub for my clean stamps, because the Stampin' Mist, which again, this bottle is so old. So now they come in a much larger size. And this does come with a spray top too. It's not just this. But I just use this to refill my old one, because my old one fits in my little spinny organizing thing here on my desk. So then I'll just rub this on this side, and you can tell which side to rub it on first, because, let's see if you can see it. There's little raindrops in that corner. And then in this corner, there's a little sunshine. I don't know if that's going to focus enough for you to see it, but trust me, it's there. So then I'll just dry it over here, and now it is all ready to go again. Quick tip, these stick really well, so you want to try to make sure you don't leave them on overnight, because then you'll really have to work hard to pry them off. So until I get all of these out, I like to just go ahead and put it back in the spot. That way I can see what I have left to put on the backing. I can see where everything is, and they don't all get loose. Once I have the backings on all of these, hey Rosemary, how are you tonight? I'm really bad at looking up and seeing who's saying hello. So I'm going to try to be better about that. So this one, once I got all of the backings on these, then I might just get rid of this outline part and just stick them all to the case. So our other type of stamp is the photopolymer stamp. So this is coming out of the current mini catalog. And this one is one of the ones that is going to be coming back in the next July to December mini catalog. So July to December 2022, that sounds so crazy, this will be available again, or it's available through the end of the month. So this set, I love this set. This is clear. So it comes, I was looking to see if I have another clear set beside me, but I don't think I do. I do. Okay, and this is a new one. This one will be available in January. It's the Sweet Conversations set, and there's a whole suite that goes with this. In fact, tomorrow, the video that I'm posting on YouTube, I am making a card with this set, and it turned out so cute, if I do say so myself. So these come between two clear sheets. But then I always pull them off of these sheets and I stick them inside the case, because now Stampin' Up! Has added the outlines for the stamps, and they are backwards. A lot of people don't like that, but it's so that the, like if you have words or images that have a direction, they'll line up right on your case where the back is on the case. So I really like it, and it helps me to keep track of all of my stamps a little bit better, because I can tell at a glance what is missing. Of course, right now, it just means I haven't used them yet and I haven't moved them over. The photopolymer sets do need a block, just like the others. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some of these on blocks so that we can make a card. So I'm going to get the penguin, and I want the balloon. I'm going to grab, so there's a foot all by itself, or there's 2 feet together. I want the 2 feet together. Then I'm going to get the beak. So the photopolymer set is really good because you can just use water to clean these. So a lot of times if I have several blocks, I'll just use my little tray with my wet paper towel and stick them in it. And then when I'm done, I'll take them to the sink and I'll rinse them. Just be really careful with these teeny tiny little stamps like this because they will go down the drain. You don't want to lose a stamp in case it unsticks. I'm also going to get the happy birthday. I'm going to use one of these long blocks and say, to the coolest friend ever. I'm going to get this really long piece. You know, I don't know why they have different kinds. I do know that when you have stamps that you're going to be layering a lot, like these, like this penguin place, because you can, you stamp the penguin and then you can stamp a little heart on him and a bow tie and his nose and his feet. So I know that when they have stamps like this, a lot of times that they do, or if it's a 2-step stamp, like those hearts. So the hearts, you would stamp the outline and then you use this more solid image to stamp the inside. But they can both get very detailed. Some of our stamps now, they're called distinctive stamps, and they can be photopolymer or cling. So, but they just make almost like almost a photographic image. They're just very, very detailed. And like even this heart, you can see, hopefully you can tell that this part of the heart and maybe a little bit of the outline is going to be darker than this part of the heart here. It's kind of shaded. And this one, they're all that way. But you can do that with the cling stamps also. So I really don't know, other than that the clear stamps, it's so easy to see through them to stamp, that if you're layering them in any way, it makes it super, super easy. That's a really good question, though. It would be interesting to know. See, there was one more thing I wanted. I think it was the heart and the bow tie. So I'm just going to put those on. This is a giant stamp. And I'm going to put one, a lot of times when I'm doing little stamps like this, I put one on one side and I flip it over and put one on the other side. That way I can still see through easily, but I'm not going to accidentally stamp the heart when I'm trying to stamp the bow. And I forgot to get, I didn't pre-cut a card, so I'm just going to use this card front. Both sides look exactly the same. I don't know what I'm doing. So I've got Pacific Point, Mango Melody, and Melon Mambo, and Tuxedo Black. I'm going to start with the Tuxedo Black. And just ink up my little penguin here. And I'm going to put him kind of in the center towards the bottom. I'm just going to apply even pressure, make sure he's inked on there really well. And then I'm going to get that Pacific Point and ink up my balloon. And I'm going to bring it in at just a little bit of an angle, but I want it almost to the edge of the card. Oh, I still want that blue. Because now I'm going to go back and I'm going to use this piece. This is an awesome little stamp. It looks so simple because it's just a line, basically a curvy line, but you can make like snowy backdrops with it or green hills, but it can also be the string to the balloon, which is what I'm going to use it for right now. So I'm just getting an idea of how long I need it to be. So I'm only going to get my stamp inked up to about right there, and I'm going to do that by just placing part of it on the ink pad very carefully. Then I'm going to line it back up. I actually got it a little longer than intended, but it works. So now he's got him a little balloon. So now I'm going to grab that Mango Melody. I'm going to stamp his nose, or his beak, I guess. Pink ones have beaks, don't they? And then I'm going to find my feet. Oh, it's on the other side. Got those a little off center, but it's okay. I'm going to grab that bow and the heart, and I'm going to use a Melon Mambo to do those. So I'm going to put the bow in her hair, or on her head. And then I'm going to put the heart right here. So I'm going to grab the Pacific Point one more time and stamp to the coolest friend I know. I hope that these are not being too terribly loud as I open and close them. Then I'm going to take that Happy Birthday stamp and the Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp right in the middle of that balloon, so it says Happy Birthday, and then that's it. So what I'll do now is roll my cart over here, and then I can just attach that to the front of this card. And I could even, let me see, I don't. Nope, I do. So what I'll do is trim down a piece of this Melon Mambo, and then I'll mount this on top of it so that it's framed. So I will finish that up and I'll post it to my blog later. Thank you. I love cards like this. So when you only use stamps, ink, and paper, this is a SIP card because it's just stamps, ink, and paper. And if you're on Pinterest or Instagram, you can look up #simple stamping, and you should be able to find several cards like this, lots of them really, that just use stamps, inks, and paper, because you don't need tons of stuff to make a card. You don't need just huge amounts of supplies, but it is handy to have a few ink colors and some really great stamps and clear blocks with clear stamps. Also, all of the paper pumpkin and all of the kits, all the stamps will be this size or smaller, and they're all clear. So you'll be able to stamp like this as well. Okay, so that is pretty much all I had for you today. I just wanted to make sure you knew how to put the backings on stamps and the difference between the two different types of stamps, and that you were aware that we have to have blocks for our stamps. Back in the day, they all came on wooden blocks, but now we don't have those anymore. They're not even an option. There was one other thing I wanted to show you. I'm flipping the camera back around, and that is how to clean these. So one way is to go to the sink and wash them. You just have to be careful you don't drop them down the drain. But another way is to get one of these chamois, and a chamois is $8. And then you can also buy these cases to put them in. You don't have to have a case. You can just do the chamois. The case just helps to keep it wet longer. So you just get it wet. It comes very, very dry. So just get it wet under the sink, in the sink, and then you just rub it off. And it's kind of squeaky. Mine's getting pretty dry. Let's see, and it'll just hold that ink. And then when you have too much ink in it, I don't know if you really can have too much ink in it, but every once in a while you're going to need to re-wet it. So when I need to re-wet it, I just run it under the water and squeeze it real good a little bit, a few times, and all this ink will run out. It'll still be stained, but it won't have so much extra ink anymore. That'll run out of it, and then it's good to go again. I've had this for, oh gosh, over a year. I've been using the same one, and I'll just keep using it because it's still working. And the other thing I did want to show you is the Stamparatus. So it is another option. I've got magnets on the bottom, and it was picking up my dies that I have beside me here. So this has 2 plates, and you can take them on and pull them off. And it comes with magnets to hold down your cardstock. It comes with a mat to use with the clear stamps, the photopolymer, or you use it without the mat if you're going to use it with your cling stamps. And this helps you, especially with cling stamps, since you can't see through them. If you're trying to place something just exactly right, it helps you get that placement down. You can put your stamp uninked on your card where you want it. Have your card being held down with these magnets. These are super duper strong magnets. And then put your top plate down and pick it up, and that will lift your stamp. I'll show you. So I'll say I want my stamp to be right there. So I'll put it down, lift it, and then I'll ink my stamp. And then when I go back to stamp it, it'll stamp in that exact spot. This is also handy if, say at Christmas, you're going to make 20 of the same card. Then you can just keep putting them down and keep stamping. And then you can have a different stamp at the top and then ink it a different color and stamp with that one. So this is a handy tool to have, but it is by no means a necessary tool to have, but I sure do love having it. Okay, I think that's all, really. I don't think I have anything else to say, except that I am going to check the retirement list in a minute to see what all is at low inventory or if anything has sold out. And I will post that tonight up on my Facebook page so that you can see if there's something that you've had your eye on. If it's going into low inventory, you might want to snatch it up before it's gone. Other than that, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. And be sure to check out my YouTube video in the morning. It should hit at 10. And you can see a cute card I made with that Sweet Conversations. I think the paper or the dies are Sweethearts dies. But it is a card from the catalog. I'm going to tell you what I did. I went to the current catalog and found a Halloween card that I liked and switched it from Halloween to Valentine's Day. So excited. It turned out so cute. Rosemary, you need that magnetic thing I just showed. It's really cool. It's called the Stamparatus, which I think is just fun to say. I really like saying Stamparatus. It sounds like something I made up, but I didn't. It's on... Do you have a catalog, Rosemary? I can't remember. I can't remember. If you do, it's on page 144. Okay, I need to get you a catalog for sure. And I'll put a link up too in the description. I'll put a link on. So that if you want to look at it on the online store, then you can do that. So, and I'll make sure, I need your new address. I'll text you after this. Alrighty, y'all. I hope you have a really good weekend, and happy stamping!